The time for that has not come. They should be told clearly that there is no value. It's bad mathematics to go to look for pleasure for 15 minutes and you live in misery for 70 years. Bad mathematics. Women have done well. You should continue to seek health care. If you are pregnant, go to a health facility so that the health workers can test you. And if you are HIV positive, they will support you not to infect your baby.
Other speakers that included the U.S. Ambassador to Uganda, Natalie E. Brown, said United States will continue supporting Uganda through Global Fund to fight HIV. Museveni reminded Ugandans to turn up at health centers and get vaccinated against COVID-19.
We have therefore come a long way in fighting against HIV and AIDS, and today I can say with confidence that we are winning this battle. If there has been a relapse during the corona, then we shall regain.
The ceremony was attended by ministers, members of parliament, development partners, among others. Bernard Higa, UBC News, Kololo.
Bad mathematics indeed, 15 minutes of bliss, but you live your entire life suffering. That is a message from President Yoweri Museveni in as far as fighting HIV/AIDS is concerned. Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, has presented Government of Uganda cabinet decisions at the Media Center here in Kampala. The government has considered to embark on the process of constructing a nuclear power plant in the country. And as we hear from Saddam Mubale, Cabinet has also approved the National Transport and Logistics Policy.
Cabinet has considered and approved the National Transport and Logistics Policy that will give clear directions on the improvement of the transport sector. The policy will give birth to a well-developed multimodal transport system and encourage local human resource to handle local infrastructure projects.
And this policy addresses that concern that increasingly we must build the local capacity to be able to handle most of these transport-related constructions.
Cabinet chaired by the Vice President Major Jessica Alupo considered the information paper to assess the readiness and capacity to establish a nuclear power plant in Uganda.
That we expect increased awareness of the requirements for construction of the first nuclear power plant by all national stakeholders, enhanced technical assistance toward the development of the nuclear power infrastructure from the International Atomic Energy Agency and other development partners, and also increased readiness towards the construction and operation of the first nuclear power plant.
The Bill on Social Impact and Assessment and Community Accountability 2021 was also considered and approved by Cabinet, and the bill gears at ensuring that community takes part in the infrastructure developments.
The bill also introduces social impact assessment, which will be mandatory. For all projects earmarked, there must be social impact assessment, and penalties will be preferred on those who don't comply.
On the other hand, Cabinet considered the information paper to commemorate International Anti-Corruption Day, slated for 9th December 2021. The celebrations will be marked on the theme promoting active participation in social accountability. Saddam Mubale, Ivan Kahwa, UBC News, Kampala.
Now to matters pertaining to security of the country, and the Joint Intelligence and Counter-Terror Task Teams have arrested another member of the ADF terror cell and recovered an assortment of terror-related exhibits. The suspect, identified as Isma Kiemba, is a 24-year-old male adult and resident of Makandwa village, Kajansi Town Council in Wakiso District. He was tracked down and arrested using advanced surveillance techniques. Police spokesperson Fred Enanga says upon the arrest of Kiemba, he led the counter-terrorism team to his residence where much more assortment was recovered.
Upon arrest, he managed to lead our task teams to a search at his premises in Kiijanangoma, where an assortment of bomb-making materials, which included chemical fluids, capacitors, 5 in number, electric and copper wires, batteries, screws, nails, a digital timer, 2 electric motors, 5 mobile phones and several SIM cards. Also recovered is a bank Visa card and materials used in the manufacture of destructive devices, including elements. We have further established that the suspect was the one who assembled the homemade explosive device that was detonated by Matov Muzaffaru on the Swift Safari bus that exploded at Lungara in Mpigi. He was also in the process of assembling another IED on the instructions of an ADF commander whose details he has availed to the Joint Task Team.
Chinese embassy in Uganda has donated 350,000 Chinese yen as emergency humanitarian assistance to Uganda. Now, this was in a response to recent severe flooding the country experienced. The handover certificate acknowledging receipt of the cash was signed by the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Nabanja, and the Chinese ambassador to Uganda, Zhang Lizong. The handover ceremony took place at the office of the Prime Minister here in Kampala. This report, courtesy of the Prime Minister's press unit.
The country recently experienced severe rains and floods, which caused huge property destruction and economic losses. At the same time, the COVID-19 pandemic made it more difficult for the flood-affected people to make a living. It is against this background that the Chinese embassy in Uganda donated money equivalent to 194 million Uganda shillings.
We have noticed that some people suffer from this recent heavy rains, and also this rain has caused huge loss of properties, economic losses, and so China and Uganda enjoy a very good friendship, and we have a very good tradition of help each other during trying times like this pandemic. We have help each other. So the embassy still have some money. We decided to donate this small little money to children's friendship. Hopefully this small donation can help those people affected.
The ambassador appreciated Uganda government's swift response to cope with flooding and other related disasters. The President and the Prime Minister have on several occasions made on-the-spot inspection of affected areas to guide and comfort victims. The Prime Minister Robin Nabanja thanked the Chinese ambassador for mobilizing money towards emergency humanitarian assistance. She assured the ambassador that the money donated will be put to good use.
Please allow me to appreciate the donation from the embassy of China to the Prime Minister's office to fight and help our people who are affected by floods. Thank you so much. I want you to applaud.
Commenting about media reports that the Chinese government was taking over Entebbe International Airport, the Premier allayed such fears.
Has ever lost property to Chinese government, no African state. And therefore it was a rumor which we must ignore.
There is no way the government of Uganda can lose an asset just for $200 million. This government, $200 million, we have a reserve of well close to $5 billion shillings, $5 billion. This government has a reserve, foreign reserves in dollars, well close to $5 billion. So what is $200 million really? You didn't get to that. But the truth is, this contract was guaranteed by a sovereign guarantee, meaning that it was not guaranteed by the asset. It was guaranteed by the funds of the government of Uganda through the central bank that in the event of default, the central bank will pay for it.
The function was attended by 8 ministers who included the second Deputy Prime Minister, General Moses Ali, Government Chief Whip, Minister for Finance, and Minister for General Duties, Kasule Lumumba.
And indeed, as you heard in that report, we do hope that that money will be put to its intended use. To Tanzania now, where Uganda's High Commission in Tanzania is taking the lead in expediting the implementation of the cross-border oil and gas project. The move by the consulate is part of a commercial diplomacy initiative that's being implemented by the government to promote bilateral ties and enhance trade and investment. Our reporter Dennis Sigua was in Tanzania recently and brought us this report.
Richard Kabonero is Uganda's High Commissioner to the United Republic of Tanzania. A career diplomat, Ambassador Kabonero was posted to Dar es Salaam in 2017. For the last 4 years at the helm, he has been at the forefront of championing government's commercial diplomacy agenda.
We are the first point of call for all the companies, for Uganda at least. When you come here or you want to go to Uganda, we at the mission are ready to assist, and the whole team is ready to be able to help these companies navigate this landscape. It's new for us, it's new for them, so we really need to work together.
The implementation of the multi-billion-dollar oil and gas pipeline project is what the consulate in Tanzania and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Regional Economic Cooperation Desk is determined to see to fruition.
I want to call upon the people of the Republic of Uganda and the people from the United Republic of Tanzania to take full advantage of the opportunities that this huge investment is bringing to them, to ensure that at the end of the day, they benefit by participating, by doing business, by forming companies that are viable and can compete favorably.
With more than 15 years gone since the discovery of oil and gas in Uganda, there is a consensus that production has taken longer than expected.
15 years is not a very long time for countries which are working on a project that is that big and that is going to change the lives of people. It is going to change the way we've been living, and it's likely to play a very wonderful role in the transformation of our society.
The oil and gas symposium, like the just concluded one in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania's commercial capital, is encouraged for policy harmonization and networking purposes. But to get tangible results, walking the talk is emphasized.
We have to try and do the business. We have the talk is cheap. It's what we have to do, but we in the public sector is to really facilitate these people. Is the cost of doing business, and also facilitate the linkages with their Tanzanian counterparts and the region. At
a closed-door meeting on the sidelines of the Tanzania-Uganda Oil and Gas Symposium, President Samia Suluhu and President Yoweri Museveni gave marching orders to the relevant authorities in both countries to fast-track the removal of all barriers to trade and investment. Dennis Ikoa for UBC News.
Thanks, Dennis, for that report there. Moving on now, the Attorney General, Kiijanangoma, has refuted claims that Entebbe International Airport is at stake over failure to clear a $200 million loan. Kiijanangoma, while appearing before the Committee on Commissions, Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises, COSASE, revealed that the loan acquired from Exim Bank will be sorted out accordingly. COSASE is chaired by the Nakawa West Member of Parliament, Joel Senyonyi.
The viral reports about the allegations that Uganda could surrender Entebbe International Airport should it default on a 2015 loan from Beijing to expand and upgrade the facility has been watered down.
We are not in default at all on this loan. The future of the airport is very, very secure.
The reports, which have recently caused a stir in the country, attracted room for investigations, and Parliament picked interest with the matter being investigated by Committee on Commissions, Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises.
If government is not worried, why are we trying to renegotiate this contract with China? Because so far they have sent, we understand, about 3 teams, according to the information that we have. They've sent several teams to try and renegotiate with China.
Government negotiated the agreement and came with this good deal. Let's meet these obligations and there will be no problem.
Government, through the Attorney General Kiijanangoma, appeared before COSASE defending the $200 million loan acquired from China Exim Bank. Kiijanangoma shared with the committee the terms of reference, including the grace period for loan repayment.
The obligations in this contract, in our view, are all capable of performance.
Is there room to think of the worst?
Yes, there are consequences. Government has to come in and meet this obligation. Government has to come in.
We must do everything to make sure we don't default. It's our only airport. Of course, if we default, there are ramifications. China could very well take our airport.
The Attorney General's submission also contradicts with that of Matia Kasaija, the Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, that the loan in question was a bad deal, which should never be repeated.
But it's not a bad contract. Contracts are bad when you put out obligations that are impossible of performance.
Amidst all, the expansion work at Entebbe International Airport is in progress and in advanced stages. Daniel Mugoya and Gloria Gwitabinji, UBC News. Of course, the Attorney General there are laying fears that Entebbe Airport will be taken over by the Chinese government. Chief Justice Alphonse Owiny-Dollo has called upon government to strengthen anti-corruption agencies and institutions with enough resources in fighting corruption in the country. Dollo communicated this during a ceremony organized by State House Anti-Corruption Unit, which was attended by various government institutions as one of the events leading to the International Anti-Corruption Day, which falls on 9th December. The function was held at the grounds of the Prime Minister's office in Kampala.
The function was attended by the IGG Bet Orivunami Sango Kamya, representatives from the Ministry of Ethics and Integrity, PPDA, KCCA, Commission of Prisons, managers from different media stations, including the Deputy Managing Director, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, Maurice Mugisha, among others. In his remarks, Chief Justice Alphonse Owiny-Dollo says there is need to sensitize the public more about corruption.
And maybe the beginning point is you need a conference like this for 2 days to get the definition of the word corruption. What is corruption? Then we can fight it. If we act together, if we accept that it can be done, we will surely do it and rid our country of this demon called corruption.
Dollo also advised the government to strengthen anti-corruption agencies and institutions with resources in fighting corruption.
Strengthen the police, strengthen the office of the Directorate of Public Prosecution or the Inspectorate of Government. Put all the resources, bring the matter to court, give us all the resources. We try that person and we either convict or acquit. The issue of bail will not arise.
In attendance was the Prime Minister Robina Nabanja, who revealed to us the government's strategy to fight corruption officials.
And indeed, we are coming up with a law to deny bail to those corrupt officials and other people. We want to deny them bail. I know it's a right, but we want to deny them bail as to show that we are really serious.
The head of State House Anti-Corruption Unit, Kano Edith Nakalema, highlighted some of the achievements by the unit.
Notable ones are the increased public trust as a result of the face-to-face interactive meetings, otherwise known as barazas.
Before the ceremony, the State House Anti-Corruption Unit employees had a health workout session in the morning, officiated by the Prime Minister Robina Nabanja.
We are ready to fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. We are ready to lift those who cannot lift themselves.
These are some of the events leading to the celebrations of the International Anti-Corruption Day, scheduled for 9th December 2021. Deborah Namamonde, Nantong Rebecca, UBC News.
Right, Honorable Prime Minister.
Yeah, you must be fit to fight this monster called corruption in this country. To matters pertaining to the youth now, and Uganda Christian Lawyers Fraternity, in collaboration with the Office of the First Lady and Uganda Youth Forum, are to hold a youth convention on the 2nd of December, which is tomorrow. The convention will focus on exposing the youth to entrepreneurship and shall be held under the theme Entrepreneurship and Entrepreneurship, Emerging Critical Skills for the 21st Century Youth. Take a watch.
And are creative, then they will be able to even put aside the issues of corruption and be responsible and contribute towards the good of this country by monitoring the government projects, monitoring the activities, monitoring the development activities taking place around, and being able to point out areas which need improvement. We believe that this engagement will go a long way in empowering the youth to be better citizens of this country. We believe that they will learn creative ideas to start their own businesses. And in line with the objectives of this convention, we know that this will provide a good, strong, perfect linkage between the soft skills which are handled and also the real practical skills which the youth need. We have seen people going through university, studying engineering, and failing to even fix a bulb in their
National Information Technology Authority of Uganda, NITA-U, has reported progress in connecting lower local government units to the national backbone infrastructure. The Executive Director, NITA-U, Dr. Hatwib Mugasa, says 60% of the districts in the country have been connected. This was during the launch of the inaugural E-Government Excellence Awards, where ministries, departments and agencies will be honored for exceptional online services. Henry Okrot reports.
27th May this year, an agreement on roads infrastructure was signed between two heads of state, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and His Excellency Felix Tshisekedi for Ugandan Democratic Republic of Congo respectively, intended to boost trade, economic development, political ties and other relations between the two countries.
And we apologize for a mix-up of those stories there, but the story that you've just been watching there was about members of the steering committee for a 2033 roads projects between Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo has now visited and inspected the roads, machinery and equipment that was mobilized to be used in the project, which awaits commencement. That was the story that was running. But let's do hope that the story about the National Information Technology Authority of Uganda reporting progress in connecting lower local governments units to the national backbone infrastructure is now ready.
This is Jacob Simuyu.
One of the agencies that have exhibited the real feel of online government services is the Citizen and Immigration Control Department of Ministry of Internal Affairs, as compared to the past, when passport applicants had to queue with hard copies. This is what happens today.
We used to issue 300 passports while struggling. Now we issue 1,500, but we have a capacity to issue 2,500. I think I am satisfied that we are getting to excellence levels.
Such is what National Information Technology Authority Uganda is spearheading. Dr. Hatwib Mugasa is the authority's executive director.
We are in close to now 60 districts with a national backbone, that is the highway. We have gone to 60 districts. Logically, we are in all districts because even without the NBI, you still can access services digitally.
Other ministries, departments and agencies have joined the digital revolution, including Ministry of Health.
I had no idea of what Zoom was, but now with the pandemic, even a small kid, a nursery going kid knows that there is Zoom, there is Google Meet, So I'd want to appreciate NITAU for ensuring that they secured us the licenses.
With such testimonies, who will scoop the best award for offering the best online government services? This is what NITA Uganda has unveiled this Wednesday morning.
We're here to serve you and to transform your processes from the analog or the manual processes to a digital form.
The award ceremony will be held on Friday, 10th December 2021. Henry Okrut, UBC.
A dummy check right here.
Thanks, Okrut, for that story there. Now, let's go back to the story which we had earlier on introduced, where members of the steering committee for the 3 roads project between Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo has visited and inspected the roads machinery and equipment mobilized to be used in the project, which awaits commencement. Now, this follows an agreement reached between the 2 heads of state earlier this year aimed at promoting trade and strengthening political ties between Uganda and the DRC.
27th May this year, an agreement on roads infrastructure was signed between 2 heads of states, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and His Excellency Felix Tshisekedi for Uganda and Democratic Republic of Congo respectively, intended to boost trade, economic development, political ties and other relations between the 2 countries. On 16th June 2021, groundbreaking for the 3 roads project was launched in Impondwe, Democratic Republic of Congo. The project, to be implemented by DOT services and in 2 phases, will cover a distance of 230 kilometers in areas of Kasindi to Beni, Beni to Butembo, and Buganaru to Suru Magoma. Wednesday morning, a team from the projects committee headed by their chairman, also Congolese ambassador to Uganda, Jean-Pierre Masala, engineers and technocrats among others, visited and inspected the machinery and equipment to be used in the construction works that included trucks, excavators, tractors, to mention a few, at inland customs depots located in Namamvi in Mukono Municipal Council. Ambassador Jean-Pierre Masala from DRC, also the chairperson of the project steering committee, commended the contractors for the quality of the equipment and said the project will promote bilateral trade and cooperation between the 2 countries.
Notre présence ici constitue aussi l'engagement pris par le gouvernement de la République démocratique du Congo
is part of the commitment taken by the government of the Republic of Congo
de s'impliquer dans ces projets de réalisation de routes
to participate and be active in the achievement of these roads
qui vont vraiment booster les relations économiques, les relations sécuritaires et même les relations d'amitié entre les différents peuples de nos pays respectifs.
Which will of course promote security and economic and also social links between the 2 countries.
The Commissioner of Roads and Bridges under the Ministry of Works and Transport, Engineer Stephen Chitonsa, while at the tour, confirmed that the equipment is ready.
The meeting on Friday is going to pave the way for the commencement of physical works. And already with this mobilization of equipment, we are very, very hopeful that this project is going to take off very, very well.
I'm Ivan Juko, reporting for UBC News.
We'll now take a very short break, but much more will be coming up. Stay with us.
These days, our homes are no longer just the places we live. It's where we attend meetings, go to class, keep each other safe, and entertain ourselves. To do this smoothly, you need a reliable internet connection. Connect your home online with MTN WakaNet Max, a fast and reliable home internet solution to power your streaming, gaming, online classes, work, and CCTV security cameras. The MTN WakaNet Max starter kit comes with a free 4G router, SIM card, and 35 GB bundle with no validity, all at 245,000 Uganda shillings. Visit any MTN service center to sign up.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
The
appreciation season is here. We recognize, celebrate, and award Uganda's top taxpayers. Be part of the online Bomba Your Business Summits and stand a chance to win smartphones, gift sets, hampers, and loads more. Visit our social media pages to find out more.
We appreciate you for paying your taxes. We're proud to be Ugandan.
We celebrate you.
Oh, we celebrate
Taxpayers
you.
of Uganda. We appreciate you.
We appreciate you.
Uganda together.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
It's the festive season and we love it. And that means it's time to celebrate with GoTV.
Come with me.
So get your GoCoder and GoTV value for 25,000 shillings to watch with the whole family. And if you're feeling extra festive, upgrade to our best package yet, GoTV Super.
Something to look forward to.
Download the My GoTV app for more information.
Super.
We all deserve a super festive season. And with GoTV, there's every reason to love it.
Introducing Learn From Home Data Bundles. Customized bundles for you and your family to study or work seamlessly from the comfort of your home. Use any of these affordable data bundles to connect to your MiFi, routers, laptops, tablets, and smartphones while avoiding unwanted internet exposure and ensuring undivided attention during online classes. Enjoy instant access to Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, and selected educational websites. Dial *175# to buy your Learn From Home bundle today. Airtel, the smartphone network. Terms and conditions apply.
Raising voices.
Like other fathers across Uganda, I'm standing up to say no to violence against children. I commit to give my children a violence-free childhood. As fathers, we can make Uganda safer for our children. I promise to speak out when I see violence.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
The e-Government Excellence Exhibition is here. Come and experience the ease of accessing government services online as government entities showcase their digital transformation to fast, convenient, and efficient service delivery. The e-Government Exhibition will be held at the Garden City Mall parking on Friday, 3rd November, starting at 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Entrance is free. The e-Government Exhibition is organized by the National Information Technology Authority Uganda in partnership with the World Bank Group, Huawei, and Ernst & Young.
Welcome back from that short break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV, and a very warm welcome to those of you just joining us. Now, an estimated 1.4 million Ugandans are living with HIV virus, and majority of these are on antiretroviral drugs. However, Uganda AIDS Commission reveals that though there has been a reduction in HIV prevalence rate, 38,000 new infections were recorded by the end of December 2020. And as Mutonyi Hilda now reports, 14,000 of those were among young girls between the ages of 14 and 24.
It's about 39 years since HIV/AIDS hit the country. The infection that was first reported as a strange disease around 1982 in Lukaya has impacted all classes of people in varying degrees. In the early 1980s and 90s, many Ugandans suspected the virus to be witchcraft, and thus resorted to consumption of herbs and other concoctions until government mobilized against the pandemic. Uganda AIDS Commission has achieved a number of milestones in the fight against the pandemic by putting in place interventions, namely public sensitization, reducing mother-to-child transmission, availing ARVs, and an amiable environment. By the end of December 2020, Uganda was able to achieve the 90-90-90 and ranked among the 8 countries globally that registered progress.
There were a few countries globally that
were able to meet that, 8 of them, and we were among those 8 countries. So we've registered some progress, but we also have quite some work to do.
The Director General Uganda AIDS Commission, Dr. Nelson Musova, says that an estimated 1.4 million Ugandans are living with HIV/AIDS virus, translating into 5.4%, a slight reduction from the previous 6.2% in 2016, with at least 1.2 on treatment.
There is an ongoing population-based survey by the Ministry of Health, but from our previous estimations, we don't think the results will differ different. So this shows a reduction from previously 6.2% that was found in 2016 by the Ministry of Health.
Of the new infections recorded, 14,000 of those were young people between 14 and 24 years.
The prevalence is the new infections are tipped very huge proportion amongst young people of that age group, but also disproportionately higher even amongst the females.
Uganda AIDS Commission also estimated that about 22,000 AIDS-related deaths occurred in 2020, a slight increase from the previous year where 21,000 reportedly died. And
also a slight, the HIV infections amongst children below 14 years was about 5,300, which is something that shouldn't happen, because we know if there is an HIV pregnant mother and she attends antenatal in a timely manner, follows instructions of the health worker and swallows her medicine, delivers within trained, skilled hands, and follows the instruction after that for postnatal, you can prevent your child from getting HIV.
Children born with HIV/AIDS reduced from 25,000 between 2012 and 2013 to less than 3,000.
We should have wrapped this up. No child should be born in Uganda with HIV.
The data clerk at the AIDS Information Center Chisenyi, Nablo Claire, attributes the increase in the cases, especially between 2019 and 2020, to the first lockdown.
Say, for example, the sex workers here in Chisenyi, the vulnerable adolescents, you could not reach them with the health information, how to protect themselves from getting HIV, commodities, you could not supply the condoms. Why? Because we're all under lockdown.
Dr. Nelson Musova says the Ministry of Health was able to establish the period in which the pregnancies were conceived, coming out with the 13% figure, some of which were conceived within the period of 6 months.
Unprotected sex. We've not segmented in that data, how many of those infections were within the COVID period, but we know certainly, like you've said, a proportion of them were as a result of COVID, because the children at home, if we use pregnancy as a proxy, a good number of those are attributable to COVID. Yes.
Dr. Watiti says that although HIV/AIDS-related deaths have reduced, there is, however, a weekly infection of about 1,000 persons.
You will notice it's mainly adolescent girls and young women. Now there are many dynamics. These are vulnerable people. You'll find, for example, a young girl dating or having sex with an older man, including a person of my age. You can see them having sexual relations with young girls. Not that they want to marry them.
About 2 decades ago, an HIV/AIDS patient would swallow 17 tablets per day, meaning in a week, one would swallow 119 tablets, 510 tablets a month, and 6,205 tablets a year, turning the body into a cocktail of drugs.
I had nasty side effects. I experienced them. They are talking about long-acting ARVs, which can be given as injections.
Currently, the Joint Clinical Research Center is conducting research aimed at endorsing injectable drug to save Ugandans from the stress of swallowing tablets.
HIV vaccine trials, we've not been as successful and as quick as it was for COVID, for instance. And the main reason is the complexity of the HIV virus. The HIV virus is very complex. It mutates very, very highly all the time. And all the trials that have happened so far, the efficacious levels are too low subject them to before a virus is brought.
As Uganda commemorates World AIDS Day under the theme End Stigma, End AIDS, End Pandemic, the memories of how a mysterious disease killed people in the early 1980s are still fresh in the minds of most Ugandans. In the 1990s, for one to have HIV/AIDS was as good as a death sentence. However, Uganda government crusade against HIV/AIDS and creating a conducive environment for the affected and infected reduced the lives of infection, making many people accept their situation. Uganda AIDS Commission has now come up with interventions to ensure people test and found positive are enrolled on medication.
About effective communication, designing messages, especially targeting young people. Our old APC is still working and we use it. It is very important. One is that it enables that one, the HIV positive person, to live normally, to live what we call positively and be productive, If they are teachers, if they are journalists, if they are doctors, they will live a normal life, do their work.
Uganda AIDS Commission was established by an Act of Parliament under the Office of the President to ensure a focused and harmonized response towards the fight against HIV/AIDS blight in Uganda. The Commission's boss is optimistic that the 95-95-95 target will be achieved by 2025, and by 2030, the country would hit 100% in all categories. Mutonyi Helda, UBC.
And of course, the battle against HIV/AIDS continues. The Ministry of Education is to continue distributing home learning materials in schools across the country to enable learners catch up with the syllabus following a 2-year lockdown of learning institutions due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, made the remarks while officiating at the flag-off of over 4,772 copies of home learning materials and revised guidelines for prevention of teenage pregnancy in schools for Luweero district.
Education and Sports is committed to continue with the government programs of distributing home learning materials in the remaining period to open up schools in January 2022. After 2 years in the lockdown of COVID-19 pandemic, the Minister of State for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, says these home learning materials are free to all learners in government and non-government schools, and also cautioned school administrators against locking up these home learning materials in libraries for the benefit of learners to catch up with the syllabus.
The study materials are not meant to be locked up in your libraries at school. I would be paranoid and hurt if I ever visit and find them under lock and key, as it has happened in the past. These materials are intended to help these learners learn while at home.
Minister Dr. John Muyingo was officiating at the flag-off of over 4,772 copies of home learning materials and revised the guidelines for prevention of teenage pregnancy in schools for Luweero district, held at Luweero Secondary School. The function was attended by, among others, head teachers for primary and secondary schools and district local government leaders. On the issue of the date of reopening of schools and program for final examination of candidate classes, Dr. Muyingo says the ministry is still preparing, but reaffirmed to the country that schools will reopen in January 2022 and encouraged the teachers and parents to prepare and avoid extravagance during festive season. The chairman, Luweero District Head Teachers Association, Kasim Hassan, commended government and Ministry of Education for regulating teachers in COVID-19 pandemic, which has enabled Luweero to have over 85% of teachers fully vaccinated as a preparation for opening of schools.
District, we as government teachers, we are 100% vaccinated. And we encourage our colleagues from the private sector to also do the same. We should encourage their teachers to go for vaccination in preparation for the opening of schools in January 2022.
Them to schools because of the poor road network.
story compiled by Fred Kasibante for UBC News.
The NRM party vice chairperson for Northern Uganda, Jacob Oulanyah, is calling for cohesion and improved teamwork within the party structures. Oulanyah, who is touring West Nile, Acholi and Lango sub-regions, believes that the party will achieve and fully implement its 2021-2026 manifesto if all the party structures function as one unit. We have more in this report.
The road to 2026 is taking shape as the National Resistance Movement Party Vice Chairperson for Northern Uganda embarks on strengthening district structures. The Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Oulanyah, met the NRM MPs, registrars and administrators in the West Nile city of Arua on Monday and the Acholi NRM leaders on Tuesday in a closed-door meeting.
The work that we do with them only has to do with elections. This time round, we thought we should put the structures together, engage them, let them get involved in the oversight of how government programs are being implemented.
In Gulu City, Oulanyah met the party structures at St. Monica Adele.
He preached unity to the members. He was very grateful for the overwhelming support that he got from the 5 elections that he went through.
Can we make the party better? How can we coordinate so that things move on well?
If you're a youth, for example, we have the Youth League that you have to join and raise your concerns through the Youth League. If, for instance, you're a veteran, we have the Veterans League.
Meanwhile,
they're moving at night, playing music, roaming from one corner to another. All this will be impounded on the what? On the guidelines and the rules of what? Of curfew. On
candidates' public gatherings or conferences or political rallies remain banned.
Amnesty Commission Uganda has strongly cautioned former ADF combatants from secretly engaging themselves in subversive activities if they are to stay peacefully on their homeland, Uganda. Now, while speaking to various former rebel groups, Commissioner Thomas Kisembo said government has no problem with ex-ADF fighters as long as they fulfill the terms and conditions given to them in the amnesty.
The commissioner in Amnesty Uganda, Thomas Kisembo, has held a meeting with various former rebel groups in Bundibujo. Kisembo urged them not to be used as ladders by self-seekers, for they end up engaging in wars that they don't know and regret afterwards.
Don't be used as ladders.
The meeting was also addressed by other security authorities in Bundibujo, who expressed mixed reactions over the way some reporters are behaving, especially during the time of terrorism in the country. Ronald Sekatawa, the coordinator Amnesty Western, expressed sadness over the death of one of the deserters in Bundibujo, a 1-year sin who was gunned down in Toroko district, together with 3 others for allegedly coordinating rebel activities.
But for us, our mandate is to make sure we convince these people, we talk to them, and they come out. But if somebody says to do double dealing, that is dealing with the ADF at the same time with the community, that's not our part.
However, deserters were handed household items and chemical materials for making liquid soap as startup capital to enable them engage in productive activities. Shaidat Nasaku, UBC News.
Now, Managing Director Uganda Clays Limited, Ruben Byaruhanga, has applauded government for spearheading the campaign against HIV/AIDS. He observed that the initiative is principal in reducing the spread of HIV virus and mitigating stigma and discrimination to the victims. This was during activities organized by the company in Kajansi to commemorate World AIDS Day with free community testing and counseling services.
With 2021 World AIDS Day theme, End Inequalities, End AIDS and End Pandemics, Uganda Clays Limited has embarked on reviving community-based programs that are key in the fight against HIV/AIDS. The managing director, Uganda Clays Limited, Ruben Tumwebaze Byaruhanga, commended government interventions in curbing the spread of HIV/AIDS.
We test our workers, we treat our workers, we test our communities around, we counsel them, we give them free counseling and testing, and we have peer educators that go around talking to our communities that we operate in.
During the activities to commemorate World AIDS Day at the company premise at Kajansi, Tumwebaze Byaruhanga says his baked clay building company has designed stringent HIV/AIDS prevention initiatives, including testing, counseling, treatment to employees and surrounding communities.
In ensuring that there is nobody that will die because of AIDS-related illnesses, to ensure that there is no child that will be born with AIDS, and also ensure that we don't contribute to the spread of this HIV.
During the event, hundreds of employees and community were tested, vaccinated and counseled, and the company will continue supporting communities to close inequality gaps in ending the pandemic accordingly. Story by Robert Waiter for UBC News.
Now we'll be getting into business news, and the Senior Army Officer Brigadier General Felix Kulaije has advised all government agencies to adopt militarized cadre training for their employees as a way of instilling discipline and patriotism values. Kulaije said this while presiding over a pass-out ceremony for 160 National Water and Sewerage Corporation staff who had undergone a 2-week military training at Nabisunsa Girls' School.
Basic cadre development training is increasingly becoming a compulsory recruitment tool for a number of government agencies. Among them is the Internal Affairs Ministry, which requires all its employees to undergo basic cadre and military training at the National Leadership Institute in Chankwanzi.
And the training is yours. Nobody's going to take that training. Some of us will train with it, but it's up to now.
The National Water and Sewerage Corporation has also adopted the same. Hundreds of its employees have undergone military cadre training as part of their induction.
It is about creating the right mindset of the people. The people who feel for this country, they are the people who will feel for the customers.
Senior Army Officer Brigadier General Felix Kulaije recommends that basic cadre training should be made a compulsory recruitment tool in all government agencies.
For us, it's reinforcing the national security, because a population that is conscious of its role in national development is a population that will move the country faster, number one, but number two, will contribute to national defense effect.
Over 160 National Water staff have undergone a 2-week cadre training at Nabisunsa Girls' School. This comes close to a month after 185 engineers and technical staff of the National Water were also trained.
The government has been urged to implement disability policies and also actualize the policy promises in local governments and fill all positions of the disabled in the country. Now, this has been disclosed during the annual National Symposium on Disability in Kampala, with a call of bringing more persons living with disabilities in the employment world. Sudat Kaye has more.
Uganda is among the countries on track towards disability inclusion, but there are still gaps on many domains due to implementation. This has been attributed to non-implementation of disability policies, hence the need of the District Service Commission representation.
UBOS, while it includes disability on census data, it tends to leave out disability on other surveys like the labor participation survey, like the demographic health surveys. Disability tends to miss, or it is included in a very narrow scope. Like, for example, if we cannot tell from the poverty data how many persons with disabilities are poor in Uganda because disability is missing as a category.
Dr. Patrick Ojok, a senior lecturer, Disability Studies and Inclusive Education, Kyambogo University, says there is a challenge of accessing special grants for special groups, with Karamoja taking the lead. He says the capacity to handle the paperwork for the grant is still low, with many unable to read and write.
Exclusion of persons with disabilities is costly. If you like to know, studies have shown that when you leave out persons with disabilities, you lose over trillions in dollars of GDP. Studies exist to show that. So it is not a saving to exclude persons with disability from the economy, from education, from the health. It's not a saving. It is a cost to the government.
This has led to the training of many teachers in the field of civil education. Dr. Patrick Ojok recommended for a quota policy for persons living with disabilities.
You may disagree with me here, but most disability-targeted interventions tend to favor persons with the physical and sensory disabilities and leave out most persons with invisible disabilities. So you'll find that persons with the physical disabilities are in the special grant. Persons with sensory disabilities are accessing other services, but persons with intellectual disabilities are left out and not accessing many of these services.
Empowerment of National Council for Persons Living with Disabilities and financing its staff to monitor the implementation programs is important. Dr. Patrick Ojok says there is also need to increase the teacher-pupil ratio for students living with disabilities. The annual National Symposium on Disability has been run under the theme, "Not All Disabilities Are Visible." Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
These days, our homes are no longer just the places we live. It's where we attend meetings, go to class, keep each other safe, and entertain ourselves. To do this smoothly, you need a reliable internet connection. Connect your home online with MTN WakaNet Max, a fast and reliable home internet solution to power your streaming, gaming, online classes, work, and CCTV security cameras. The MTN WakaNet Max starter kit comes with a free 4G router, SIM card, and 35 GB bundle with no validity, all at 245,000 Uganda shillings. Visit any MTN service center to sign up.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Introducing the all-new Roofing's TMX 500C rebars with cut and bend services. Roofing's, strength of a nation.
Umeme informs customers that due to the vandalized transmission line that evacuates electricity from Owen Falls Dam to Lugogo substation, some areas in and around Kampala will experience load shedding. UETCL technical team is working around the clock to restore the line. We regret inconveniences caused. Management, Umeme, powering Uganda.
Welcome back, and let's have a look at an item in sports news, in business news. And youths are encouraged to position themselves for harnessing the potential of the agricultural sector to create sustainable business ventures. The call to action was made at the Youth Agro Expo 2021 in Kasese district that was organized by Goal Uganda and the MasterCard Foundation. Charlotte Hamuge gives us more.
The touring exhibition seeks to enable more than 5,000 youth in the agriculture sector access both financial services, markets and skills training in practice, management of agriculture enterprises and value addition.
The significance of this event is to create opportunity for young people to find meaningful work in the agricultural sector. They need different services, access to finance, skilling, and input-output market.
However, with a large number of educated youth yearning for white-collar jobs, focus on mindset change is paramount.
They can make money by doing agriculture as a business, yeah? And then once they understand that, we'll change the attitude, they will start believing in themselves, and then we shall equip them with knowledge.
Distributing inputs, we get them into the marketing. There is the information sharing, they have skills in IT that they can use the phone to get markets.
According to experts, the youth have a significant role to play in harnessing Uganda's agricultural potential for their social and economic well-being.
The youth can do value addition through agribusiness meaning that they can do beekeeping, and then after beekeeping they can even do fruit growing.
For Anthony Bwambale, a farmer in Kasese district, the Agro Expo is a gateway for collaboration with other farmers.
This exhibition for sure it has shown me how I am going to teach my group and how to improve on our economy, how to acquire loans like from Microfinance Support Center.
Organized by Goal Uganda, MasterCard Foundation and Young Africa Works, the Youth Agro Expo 2021, taking place in 4 regions across the country, is on the theme Driving Agriculture Innovation and Market Linkages for Ugandan Youth. Charlotte Amuge for UBC News in Kasese District.
And now we have an item of sports news, and the Uganda Dance Federation has finalized preparations for upcoming World Breaking Dance Championship in France. The one-day championship is due this weekend, with Uganda sending 2 athletes that have completed their camp at St. Mark's College School, Kiijanangoma in Wakiso District.
Under the watchful eyes of coach Dennis Seremba, Uganda's 2 World Breaking Championship-bound athletes Ibrahim Kaira and Ronald Ndaula have gone through final paces.
We're trying to guide them. Sport has rules that guide the sport, so we are trying to incorporate the rules of sport into the game that they have been doing. The entertainment side of breaking has different rules compared to the sport side of breaking.
The athletes believe that days in camp have added value that will enable them compete against the best.
Atukuteko natungiramu ku musicality, top loco, footwork, ne moves engage zitambula mu tuyinzo zikolamo kikwasaganya mchenkakasa nti competition is not related tegefu. Amanyi wengalaba bwe wano nti tukoze nnyo ate n'ekya tutwala muliro cause tweyongeddeko okusinziira waliwo engeri gye tubaddemu.
The championship will be hosted at the Theatre du Châtelet, which days ago hosted football's Ballon d'Or, won by Lionel Messi.
Our athletes are also going to get exposed to the 2024 Olympics because they're going to have a chance even to visit the Olympic village where the Olympics 2024 is going to be. And I think Uganda is braced for this, and we have started exposing ourselves and also getting experience.
This championship starts a long process for the participants that will accumulate ranking points that are desired to qualify for the Olympics in 2024.
And that sports story brings us to the end of news tonight. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it has been Elizabeth Nakakone, and I am Rukidi Edward Kiijanangoma, wishing you a blessed night.
With Airtel Money, 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs.
Mariam, in your Lantoro, Tabedo Jinja, Tadio Star 185, Tachulo Rigo TV for a month. After 2 days, your Airtel Jobinojo Goran Simus and now winning 100,000.
The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money, instant, secure, borderless.
Raising voices,
I feel happy when my father spends time with me. I hope all fathers will like my father. I want my father to reach out to all fathers. He knows how important it is to be a good father. I promise to help my father inspire other fathers to change.